Welcome everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. For those who do not know me, my name is Vicky. Welcome to my channel. I want to discuss some things that, we pick up along the way, such as habits. We pick up old habits, we pick up bad habits, and sometimes we can pick up some good habits. It all depends. But I want to give a shout out to all of my subscribers before I begin to dig deep in the subject here. Thank you, all of my subscribers, all of my followers, my new subscribers, and my subscribers to come. I'm so very excited. Thank you so much. Continue to watch, share, and like my page and follow me. So I want to talk about habits, and I'm going to tell this story, and it's a true story. I met this young lady, and when I first met her, she did not have a job, so she would go around just volunteering, mowing people's yards, just start mowing, and she did not charge anything. And she did such a great job, and we got to talking and build a rapport with each other. And one day when she was doing the yards, her boyfriend, walked up and began to talk to her. And later on, I found out that they was living together. But to make a long story short, so one day she came to me and she said, I got a job. Thank you for your prayers. I got a job. And I didn't remember praying for her. I probably said, oh, I pray that you get a job. But anyway, she said, thank you for your prayers. And we got closer in our relationship and everything. So she started sharing some things with me. She said, I had been out of a job, but my boyfriend is out of a job too. So I just started mowing yards to, do something and get out the house. She said, I don't charge for anything. I don't charge anything to do whatever. I can build a house. I can, mow. She said, I'm just a jack of all trades. And I asked her, I said, well, where did you get the talent from? I said, did you go to school? She said, well, part of it, I went to school. Then she said, my dad, he taught me a lot of things, As a girl, I know how to work on cars. I'm actually, by trade, she said, I'm a mechanic. And she said, I know how to build things with my hands. And she went on and started gradually opening up and sharing some things with me. And her boyfriend was working at an auto mechanic place. So one day she decided before I don't know what happened, but she was telling the story. One day she dropped by and they was having trouble with this car. It was an antique car, and her boyfriend was trying to figure it out, and a couple of more guys. So she stepped in and she said, well, I know how to work on cars. I probably know what the problem is. And they looked at her and frowned up and began to laugh. And so she kept saying it. She stood back. She said, oh, y'all don't believe that I know anything about cars? She said, well, let me prove it to you. So finally they couldn't figure it out. And they told her, well, go ahead. So she looked at the car and she got the car cranked. But when the car cranked up, it died again. So they was like, She said, well, you guys could not crank up the car, couldn't get it to crank up. So she had to work on it about 2 or 3 days. And finally, she got the car started and it began to work. And shortly after that, her boyfriend did not have a job. So um, she began to work there gradually. They would ask her, they would call her and ask her about different things, and she would walk to the place because she didn't have transportation, and they would bring her back home. Then the owner began to start picking her up, said, well, I have another assignment for you, and if you can complete this, then I will give you some more money. She said it wasn't much. It was like $30 or $40, $100 here and there. And he would come pick her up and drop her back off at home. So eventually he wind up and hired her. After so many months, he went on and hired her. And so it was just a whirlwind in her relationship. So I said, you know what? She began to share bits and pieces about her relationship. And we discussed her relationship a little bit more. And I said, well, what actually happened to your life? I said, because you are so good, you can pick up on sounds and without even getting up under a vehicle and really looking at it or test driving it. And she said, well, my dad taught me a lot of things. And I began to ask about her relationship with her dad. We had built a rapport at that time. And she said, well, my dad really didn't trust me. I made a lot of bad mistakes when I was young. I made a lot of bad mistakes, and I did a lot of stupid things. And she said, I'm going to share with you. She said, my dad is well off, but he doesn't trust me, and he didn't leave me anything in the will. And so she said she had to do the very best that she could, trying to make ends meet. So she just picked up that trade, went on, and the little that he taught her, she went on to trade school and got a certification in auto mechanic. And she said while she was there, she learned how to pick up another trade as far as building things, building houses, building buildings, and you name it. And so I wondered, I never did really get into a deep subject about her dad, but she said all she know that he took her out of the will, and she had to learn how to make it on her own. And it reminded me about the prodigal son. How everybody knows about the prodigal son, but I say she is the prodigal daughter, but she did not want to go home, and she have not went back to her father and asked for forgiveness or anything like that. And she can remain out here, and it reminds me of the habits that we pick up along the way. Now, to her and to my thinking, I was thinking she probably did so many things to her dad, and she kept promising him, well, I'll stop drinking, I'll stop hanging out at bars, I'll stop drugging. And she continued to do that to a point that, he couldn't trust her anymore with his belongings, with his financial situations and different things like that. So he completely taken her out of the will. And I thought about the mistakes that we pick up along the way, the habits that we pick up along the way. I can remember some habits that I had growing up. I just loved to eat, and I had got so big, up to 300 and some pounds, almost 300 pounds, I'm sorry. And it was the habits that I had picked up along the way, eating everything, didn't even think about the time. I would just eat whenever I thought I was hungry. It was a habit, because when I learned the truth of hunger and the difference just picking up something to eat and putting in your mouth, because it's a habit. You so used to snacking at a certain time, or snacking all the time, and I was so used to eating and drinking sodas, and sodas was a bad habit. But I would just have to crunch all the time. My mouth was just moving with food, just stuffing it, stuffing it, stuffing it all the time. When you see me, I was eating. I mean, there wasn't too many times that I was not eating, unless I was asleep or really busy working. But sometimes I would carry food to my desk and munch on it and wouldn't even be hungry. So those was the habits that I had to break. They was bad habits. I mean, habits that I had picked up and was so used to doing. And when I came into the knowledge of being unhealthy, and how some of the foods you can gain weight and cause so many sickness and disease. So I had to change my way of thinking. I had to change my lifestyle. And that reminds me of the young lady I'm talking about. So when she got tired of doing the things that she was doing, the habits that she had maybe picked up along the way, probably hung around the wrong crowd. And when she decided to change, and she really wanted to change, now it's a struggle for her, but she's staying on the course, and really doing some great things, and I appreciate her, because I can imagine it's a struggle in anything that we do or say. So she would come and visit me and everything, and when she found out what kind of profession I was in, she began to hang around me and ask questions. And she said, I really want to change, and I'm doing the very best that I can. I say, listen to me. Don't put pressure on yourself. When you are ready to change, you will change, but don't rush into anything. Don't put pressure on yourself, and especially trying to prove something to someone else. I say that's the biggest mistake that we make, because we try to prove it to someone else instead of proving it to ourselves that we can change, we can be better than we was. So when I began to talk to her, and she got the job and everything, she said, you know what, I can pay you. I said, you know what, I say, don't be eager for anything. We will work everything out in due season, in time. I say, right now, I just want you to get yourself together, your life together. So I want you to think about it. And when you think about it, then you come back, and I will have contracts signed and waiting for you. So one day, she decided to come back and really do the work. And now she's doing the work, and she looks a lot better. She's happy. She got out of a toxic relationship, and I am so proud of her. The habits that we pick up along the way can stop us. The habits sometimes can block us, and sometimes the habits, if we don't realize the habits that we pick up, if we don't recognize the habits, sometimes can really, really hurt us to where we can't function anymore. And once we can't function anymore, it can lead to other serious health problems. So I just wanted to speak into someone's life on tonight about the habits that we pick up along the way. And my habits was that when I was a little girl, I would just eat and eat and eat and eat, and didn't realize what I was doing. I was harming myself, doing more self-harm than anything. Sometimes when people think about self-harm, they think about cutting themselves, or doing something really bizarre and crazy. But I was doing more self-harm to myself by chunking food in my mouth, and never exercise. I would eat bags and bags of potato chips. I love potato chips and sodas, and never thought about working out and putting healthy things in my mouth. And when I came to the realization of who I was, I lost over 100 pounds, and I've been keeping it off. And every time when I feel myself picking up weight or gaining weight, or I feel bloated, I know exactly what to do. And self-control, oh wow, it's so hard to do sometimes, but it is possible. Anything is possible if you believe and have the mindset to change your way of thinking, to change your way of living, to get rid of the bad habits, because it's really hindering you. And it doesn't have to be food. It can be anything. A bad relationship. A lot of people have bad habits. Don't want to brush their teeth. Don't want to take a bath. Don't want to keep up their personal hygiene. Curse a lot. A lot of people have bad habits of putting their hands on somebody without their permission. It's some bad habits out here that we can all examine ourselves and change. So I'm going to make it sweet and short. Thank y'all again for watching this, and please share, like, and visit me again. So thank y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night, and I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.